Welcome back, everybody. It is the Working Brother back at you with another talk. Yet again, we've got Maya, also known as maybe Guy Fawkes, just like an anonymous person on the internet. If you're wondering who Maya or Guy is, he's just a random guy. He told us a lot about what he has learned in life and what qualifies him to talk about all kinds of things that we're going to talk about today. Guy, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Nice to be back.
Excellent to have you back. By the way, I have to ask you, for our Canadian viewers, Guy, are you Canadian, Guy? Because, you know, Canadians don't say man, don't say dude, they say guy. So, are you a Canadian guy, Guy?
No, I'm not Canadian, but I'm happily not Canadian.
Yeah, nobody would want to be a subject of the Queen and not even know it, right?
I mean, they have a hard time there in Canada. It's a really crazy place.
I actually went there as a student a long time ago. Like my first endeavor in being a student was Toronto. I went to study technical theater, like lighting, sound, stage design, management, stuff like that. And
False flags?
Sorry?
False flags?
False flags? No, not
that's
that kind
of
theater,
man.
No, this was before you could learn how to, like, you know, what are they called, crisis actors and stuff like that. No, this was before that was public, you know. But in any case, my experience of Toronto in Canada was, if this is the nicer version of the States, I don't want to see the States. You know, so I left Canada and I never went back. But enough about me and enough about Canada.
One
Guy,
thing more about Canada.
Go on.
You know their new prime minister there. What's his name?
Well, I mean, I don't know him, but I've heard the stories.
The banker. So I just found out, or I don't know, I think it's true at least, but it seems like his brother is, you know, running the British crown. He's like the COO of the Royal Buckingham Palace there, managing everything.
The holding company, you mean?
Not the holding company, but the practical things within the castle.
Oh, like the operations manager of the castle, basically?
Yes.
Coincidence, man. But wasn't he also like the Bank of London guy, like a while ago, before he became the Canadian Bank of...
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was in all these
positions.
Bank of International Settlements and IMF and...
You sent this in chat as like a foreshadowing of today's topic. We're going to get into thinking and learning and information and management and understanding today. I think that's basically covers what we're going to cover today, right?
Nice, yeah.
Do you want to like, because you prepared like a PDF, but like there's no reason to show it on screen and like spoil everything for everyone.
No.
So instead, why don't you give us like read that, maybe you want to read that like paragraph at the beginning that you know, outlines some of the things that we're going to be talking about, or if you want, you can freestyle it as you wish.
I'll just freestyle it, I guess. So yeah, the idea was that you know, on Telegram, in all these channels, etc., we're trying to understand what's going on in the world. So I thought it could be interesting to have a discussion about the process of gaining knowledge or understanding what is truth. And there are many principles from the management side of things that can be applied. Nowadays, people rely, basically, most people at least, rely on getting their information and knowledge and understanding from different types of authorities. And But more and more people realize that these authorities are, complete idiots. And,
It's not only that more and more people are realizing the authorities are idiots, it's more and more of the authorities that are also proving themselves to be idiots. And even the people that are supposed to be, how can I say, in tune with what's actually happening and like deciphering reality are also falling into traps of just parroting narratives. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. And so they do not rely on their own capacity to think, people in general. So they instead, the easy way out is just to accept, what the authorities say. So that could be interesting to discuss a bit.
Before we get into that, I wanted to bring up from the last talk that we did. There was this Pepe meme, and we couldn't remember the name of this guy. And in the meantime, we found it. You sent it along. It is Roy Cohn. All right. Now that is out of the way, let's go into the first link that you sent me here. The Deming system of profound knowledge. Dun, dun.
Yeah. So, he designed a theory of a comprehensive theory of management.
Wait. You can't say offensive words like management, but without defining them. We have to define what a manager is. And I've got. I was doing an ESL case study with friends and people I know, subscribers and whatnot. Does manager mean boss? A person responsible for controlling or administering an organization or group of staff. A person who controls the professional and business activities of a performer, sports player, group of musicians, etc. A person in charge of activities, tactics, training of a sports team. A person regarded in the terms of their skills of managing resources, especially those of a household. Computing, a program or system that controls, organizes, or peripheral device or process. In the Houses of Parliament and U.S. Senate, a member of a committee appointed by one house to confer with a similar committee of another house. Dun, dun. All right, so that is Oxford Language's definition of manager. Now, tell us about what did we say it was called? Where is my little tab here? This one. No, not this one. This one? No. This one. The Deming system of profound knowledge. 14 points for management. Go on, tell us more. This is the first time I hear of this.
Yeah. He's very well known for let's say defining or a system for management. And this is it originated in the Japanese manufacturing industries, where they wanted to optimize the production and minimize errors, etc. So there are different systems to manage and control this. And I thought there are some interesting principles that can be applied to researching and understanding knowledge in general, because if we want to discuss this process and the let's say weakness of just relying on authorities and etc. Sorry, where people are just accepting authorities blindly, and mainly these authorities are different types of scientists and educators and politicians and etc. and media.
And as we recently all saw, they can all be bought.
Well,
including
they
the
all
doctors.
they all serve a particular system that pays for the universities and pays for the media and pays the politicians, etc.
And that's a perfect segue into the next topic, which is appreciation for a system, right?
Well, I was going to come to that a bit later because these four
Oh, there's more.
principles.
Okay,
Yeah,
go on. Sorry.
because I wanted to build it up first by, okay, we understand that these authorities, so-called authorities, are not reliable. They have an agenda. For instance, the health authorities. The health authorities also happens to be on the pay lists of the companies that make money on, the poisons that they
Maya,
administrate.
before you get any
Yeah,
more
I know
carried
there are
away,
certain words that
I,
you
I
can't.
have to remind everyone that this is a comedy show and that nothing we say here has anything to do with reality. And just to make sure that everybody understands, I'm flashing up a meme here, and this has also nothing to do with reality. You can check it yourself; it doesn't happen. And I don't know what it says there in the reflection either. Now that that's out of the way, shall we do the coffee thing and get that out of the way as well? Let me do the coffee thing. You can buy me a coffee. Right here, you buy me a coffee, I get a coffee. Look at it, it's amazing. And that's how this show gets made. All right. Now that that's out of the way, sorry to interrupt you. I just had to cut
No
in
problem.
there because we were getting a little, YouTube algorithm-y. Although on the bright side of things, I've seen recently that Corbett Report is back up, and Richie from Boston is back up, and Press for Truth is back up. So maybe the YouTube algorithm got a tweak. Maybe they're losing so much money that they need some conspiracy dollars. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry. Management and theory of management as applied to learning and knowledge.
Yeah, I wanted to. Well, the reasoning or the steps of reasoning here is that we can't rely on authorities to tell us how the world works or what is actually happening, because they're all corrupted. So we have to become our own authorities and become critical thinkers in order to do that. So, to become a critical thinker means that, you have to develop some analytical skills and, a capacity for critical thought.
Wait, you mean I have to think for myself?
Yeah, you do actually have to think for yourself.
I can't just copy paste what people tell me and tell ChatGPT to make it all into a nice little presentation.
Well, you could.
No?
You could, but the likelihood that you will arrive at, something that is close to truth is very small. So,
Close to truth.
yeah. So critical thinking, yeah, basically, you identify some problem, you do the research and analyze and evaluate data and, draw conclusions from that and learn from it. So in order to do that, one can draw on principles that are outlined in this management system that Mr. Deming has.
Can we go through them one by one?
We could, and we could also talk about why these four different things that he enlists. There's a paragraph here that it says that his holistic approach to leadership and management ties together seminal theories in four interrelated areas. Mm-hmm. And these are appreciation for a system, knowledge of variation, theory of knowledge and psychology. So the first one is appreciation for a system. Now, a system, the definition of a system is that you have something that runs a process. And a process is defined as something that is repeatedly done. In manufacturing, for instance, you repeatedly, the machines and etc. Are doing the same things, and you have there is something called CPOC, supplier input process, and then the output, and then the consumer. So basically, this is what the system does. So the thing is that most events and most things that we look at, they are systems of systems. So in a large company, if you want to optimize or improve some kind of business process that you are running, this value chain is a system of systems. So if you change something in one place, it will affect all the other places. So systems theory or understanding of how systems work is a good understanding to have when you try to analyze.
For people who have no idea, can you explain systems theory in like a, idiot-proof way?
Well, basically, that's basically the simple way to put it. That a system is a set of processes, or just one process, or etc., which takes an input, something that is supplied to it. It could be raw material, or it could be information, raw information, data, and then it transforms it in a process and creates value from it, and then it outputs it. And in a system of systems, the output from one system is used as input in the next system. So there's dependency there. So basically it emphasizes the importance of being able to look at things in a broader perspective, not just compartmentalized in one. So this is one of the challenges that people have. They are presented with a lot of different inputs or informations from different sources, but it's difficult to consider them or look at them from a bigger perspective, which is very important to do if one wants to understand what's going on. And this ties also to knowledge of variation. We had this illustration also about variation, understanding variation.
Is it this illustration? I don't think it's this one that you're talking about, but it kind of illustrates variation.
Exactly.
and the knowledge, like information basis. But yeah, let me see here.
The point is, and especially with understanding variation, is very important, because if you just, if you take data, information is data which is put into a context. And And so that context actually defines the information that you can draw or get out of data. For instance, with statistics and similar processes, it is very easy to fool
Most people don't know how easy it is to fool people with statistics and, like, you know, actual samples and, like, you know, like not proper sample sizes or like sample parameters, not to mention reporting parameters and like wording of questions and so on and so forth. I actually took the class in statistics in university, and like it's unbelievable, like because like the teacher basically started off by telling us, you know, or professor I should say, started off by telling us that basically you can prove anything with statistics. They don't mean anything. You know, and like it was a very interesting perspective on statistics from a statistics teacher. So yeah, I fully agree with what you're saying, but maybe you can give it a different spin from your perspective.
So there is this one statistician. His name is Donald Wheeler. He wrote the book "Understanding Variation: The Key to Managing Chaos." And so in the foreword to that book, he says that we live in the information age, and much of that information comes to us in the form of numbers. And so before information can be useful, it must be analyzed, interpreted, and assimilated. So this process of digesting data has been widely neglected at all levels of our educational system. So he points to a deficiency called numerical naivete, which means the failure to understand or put data into proper context. In other words, the context is very, very important.
Crucial to understanding the actual data. Like, you know, if you know that the temperature of the sun is whatever degrees, but you don't know what normal degrees are, that doesn't mean anything to you, you know. Or to make it simpler, if your body temperature is 38 and you don't know that at 38.4 you're likely to get die, you know, you might think it's okay to go swimming.
So the key point here is, you know, if you research and find a lot of different types of information, you have to put it into a proper context. And if the context is wrong, you won't get the proper information. They did this with the climate hoax. They're showing statistics from the, you know, last 100 years or something and say, oh, look how this varies. But if you look at, you know, a graph over 2,000 years, it looks completely different. Or in financial reports, you know, it went up.
Crazy conspiracy theorist. Crazy conspiracy. Are you trying to say that Bretton Woods is not good for us? And that Al Gore is a liar?
Well. So the point here, just as with systems, understanding of systems and understanding variation, it points to the importance of being able to put things in a proper context. And and that's the same in risk management. So if you look at risks, or you want to mitigate risks in a business process, you have to look at the end-to-end perspective, like from the board of directors down to the cleaner in the server room. So this is a very important principle. Now, people are often quite conditioned to compartmentalized thinking. They focus on isolated events or isolated instances of something that happened, but they're unable to put it in a bigger picture. And if you're not able to understand how to put it in a bigger picture, then it's going to be impossible to understand what's going on. So, and then we get into, you could show this that you showed before, this from Mako.
The knowledge of variation? Or theory of knowledge?
About the satanic... because what is the context? What is the underlying context of the world we're living in?
Oh, I'm not sure which one.
The PDF. The PDF.
Oh, the PDF. Okay.
Yeah.
That's this. This. There we go.
Yeah. So here's an article, and what the article basically says is that we are living in a world which is very much dominated by satanic principles. And it's more up, I think it's the second paragraph that...
yeah, I'm just looking through it so people can read through after, but... So
it's an inversion of reality. Now, what is reality? So one way to understand reality is like we live in a creation which is created by God. And in order to properly understand things, we have to put it in that context. Whereas the Satanist or the Satanism principles is that reality is just the opposite of that. And this goes through everything in what's happening in the world. The mechanistic worldview based on so-called science is the inversion of the principle or
I think all you have to do to like, be convinced of that is to compare the story of Genesis and the quote unquote evolution of science and the history. And basically everything that it says in Genesis, like the order is backwards in evolution. But let's not get too deep. Anyway.
And this theme of inversion of reality, you can trace it back to the Babylonian times in principle. So within that context, you can't really get a proper understanding of the world. You have to understand that this is, the underlying principle of, and it's basically a very narcissistic, materialistic principles.
Self-serving principles, basically.
Yes.
It's what's his name? Crowley's "Do as Thou Wilt" will be
exactly
the law of the land, in the sense that everybody does what they want, and everybody is their own god who creates their own reality. I'm talking from their perspective with the whole secret thing and everything like that, right?
Exactly. So this is the underlying principle that is dominating the world, and there is a small group of people who think somehow they are entitled to rule the world. I think maybe one should not call them people, but entities or something like that.
Entities is a much better classification.
Because a human is quite a lot designated or defined by human qualities like empathy and things like that, servitude and
minimally empathy, and then you can
minimally
go
empathy.
intelligence maybe at some point, or like stuff like that. As I said offline, it's great that you have the Guy Fawkes mask, because I won't have to wait for a screenshot where it looks like you're laughing, because you're laughing all the time. You're finding all the memes funny. It's excellent. This is a comedy show, in case anybody forgot. Also, thank you for being here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And Maya, again, thank you for coming on. Now, I was going to ask where we were with these. Did we get to psychology yet? Do you want to get to psychology?
No, not necessarily, because I just brought them up, these management principles, as important skills or principles to use when you try to analyze what's going on in the world. But the really important thing is, what context do you have when you try to understand what's going on? And basically, the most, I think, important context is that we are in a society which is very much ruled and controlled by people that live by satanic principles.
So what can we do? What can we do, as normal human beings with empathy and caring for other human beings and wanting to better the like general society? What can we do against these dark forces of evil and subversion?
Well, the way the system is, their system is designed, is that it feeds on people's consent. If you can picture a pyramid. So in the pyramid, the energy goes from the base to the top, and control goes from top to down. And the reason that this works is that the bottom, layer don't understand what's going on, because they have been brainwashed to accept the wrong context in which they exist. So what we can do is to develop knowledge. And
but isn't that very akin to like the caste system, basically? Considering you mentioned that you spent time in like the caste system in India.
The modern day caste system is a perversion of the original social system that existed for thousands of years back in the Vedic society. And actually there is a caste system in everywhere. We have one now, and it consists of 4 different types of people.
Don't be racist. Don't be racist.
It's the intellectuals, and the next one is the let's say the enforcers, military and kings, and etc. and then you have the mercantile class, and then the working class. So in the old Vedic society, people were working according to their nature, because the system is defined by people's qualities and not by birth in any way. But that was a much more pious society. Nowadays, everything is just chaos, so to speak. So, but we could.
One of the links that you sent me was this screenshot of the book Understanding Variation. I just wanted to pop that up in case people want to find it.
That was just a reference to numerical naivete, the inability to extract information from data.
I just wanted to pop it up there so for
Yeah,
people
sure.
to see. And I've got those Bhagavad Gita tabs open. Do you want to get into that,
Yeah,
considering we were talking about the caste system?
you can look at the first one,
Yeah.
which is here is the definition in Bhagavad Gita of knowledge, and you can scroll down a bit further.
Translation: humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual manner, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the object of a sense of gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of evil, of birth, death, old age, and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest. Even mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever they may be, is ignorance. Interesting.
So the interesting thing here is that knowledge is not defined in terms of how many books you can quote. It's defined by character.
Indeed.
These are all examples of character. So if a person can develop these characters, he puts himself in a position where he actually can understand things.
And achieve knowledge in the sense of true knowledge and understanding.
Yeah. So if you look at the character or the integrity of the morality of the modern day leaders, minus, Lavrov and a few other Russian leaders, their character
is 360 degrees in the wrong direction.
It's just disgusting. They are not even, human beings from that point of view. They're just animals.
Worse than animals.
Worse than animals. So I thought that it could be, this is quite interesting that knowledge, is not, you have to, develop some good qualities in order to be able to access knowledge. If you want, some type of higher knowledge, at least. So that was that example. And then there is a whole chapter in Bhagavad Gita about the divine and demonic natures of people. And I thought it could be interesting to see how that is described.
Do you want to read it? Because I did an awful job reading last time. Maybe you can do a better job reading this time.
Yeah, first there are the first 2-3 verses here is about the divine or the godly qualities of nature. And these are fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, etc., austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility. So these are the same here. They are all characteristics of a good person, you could say. Then the rest of the chapter describes the demonic natures, and this basically describes the nature of the majority of the modern day leaders and a lot of other people who have been conditioned. So pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. So here it is described that those who are demonic do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness, proper behavior, or truth is found in them. They say that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. They say it's produced of sex desire and has no other cause than lust. So this is basically Satanism. So it's an inversion of reality. Following such conclusions, the demonic who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial works meant to destroy the world. This is what they're doing. They have this idea that they're Messiah, you know. The more sinful they are, it's this Sabbatean Frankist's idea that the more sinful they are, the quicker they're...
If we recorded this like 3 days ago, I would have no idea who the Sabbatean Frankists are, but recently came up in chat, and some people sent me, I think it was Rohit from chat who shared something that got me up to it, got me up to speed a little bit. But do you want to like give people like a little outline who these people are?
Well,
these people.
There are two of the main messiahs or propounders in basically in the Talmudic tradition. Was Sabbateus Levi, I think his name was, around the 17th century. And he had this idea that they could bring forth their savior faster if they broke all the rules that were there, you know, that you shouldn't break. So they gained a lot of followers. Actually, I think most of the Jews became followers of him. Then later on, much later time, maybe 18th, 19th century, there was another Frank, I don't remember exactly his name, was where he appeared, I think maybe in Turkey, who continued this tradition. So basically it's a satanic tradition based on the most immoral things you can think of to do.
And some you probably can't even think of or imagine.
Yes. So, and they have a pretty, you know,
detailed text explaining it. Comedy show, nothing to do with reality. Do you want to continue with these excerpts here?
Yeah. So, taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusion, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. They believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of their life, their anxiety is immeasurable. Bound by a network of hundreds and thousands of desired and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. So the demonic person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him. And my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. And I'm going to, let's see here. I'm happy. I'm the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is no one so powerful and happy as I am, etc. So, self-complacent, always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes perform sacrifices in name only. So, Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of God, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others, blaspheming against religion. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life. So there are 3 gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed, and every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. So these principles outlined here, the demonic principles, which are basically the same as the satanic principle, they are the basic, principles that are pumped out in society through media or through entertainment or through liberalism, etc.
In the alternate history Scalgarian view of history, Scalgarian, do you believe that the Bhagavad Gita was used as a source for some of the other holy books, and like inspiration? Because I haven't studied it that much, but I hear that there's a lot of overlap between it and other holy books, so to speak.
It might be so, but the principles that are outlined here, they are basically the same principles. They are aligned, so to speak, with God and the creation. They don't necessarily have to be traced back like that, but they are universal principles that you arrive at if you believe in God. If you are, if you believe in God and believe that we live in a creation, then automatically, there is good and bad. So the good is to respect God and His creation and have empathy for, all living beings, not only humans, but especially humans, maybe, and not kill, children like a bloody sacrifice. That's demonic. That's satanic.
Not to mention ignore the fact that it's happening, or think that it's okay because they're Muslim, even though percentage-wise they're not 100% Muslim. Let's put it that way.
Otherwise, the principles outlined in terms of what is good and what is bad, I think basically they are overlapping. They are basically the same in most religions. However, many religions, they suffer from a corrupted priesthood that take advantage, so to speak, of the bottom layer of the pyramid. You have the same phenomenon there. But And the social foundation for these religions is the extended family. This is where people learn, morality and ethics and, being a good human being. So the inverted way or the satanic way is to destroy the extended family. And in this way, society is destroyed completely.
To circle back to that manager topic, I want to get your take. Does a manager have to be your boss?
No, not necessarily.
So
it depends.
How is a manager not your boss? How can a manager be manager and not your boss, in your experience?
Well, the manager, who is not the boss would be a person who knows how to do things, and hopefully there are some people there that understands that because of this person's experience or whatever. Maybe he's have some, brain cells, then he becomes automatically the boss. There is another principle in the old Vedic societies that, leading by example.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not accepted as a leader unless you can be the example, so to speak, of what you try to do.
Yeah, like you lead by showing, not by whipping. It's
Exactly.
that like guy in front of everyone pulling everyone along, not guy behind everyone pushing them or forcing them to pull him along.
Another principle which I just thought of, this old Vedic society, was that knowledge was always free, and the persons disseminating knowledge, the Brahmins or the priestly class, they were never paid for their knowledge. And now in the satanic modern day, so-called, I don't like to use the term modern, but the present world,
the current situation we find ourselves.
The current situation.
Yeah.
Knowledge is a commodity that is sold and traded and patented. So that's it's completely opposite to how it actually should be.
That's one of like my main principles here. That's why nothing that I do is behind a paywall. Like even people who support me on Patreon, they know that like I don't post anything on Patreon. Like they're supporting me just because they want to support me. They're not supporting me to get anything extra, because like you said, I don't believe in like hiding information of whatever kind behind, like you said, it's not something I trade in.
No. So because the ultimate purpose of knowledge is to make people happy by helping them to gain proper insights about the creation and God and themselves. That's the ultimate purpose of knowledge, and you can't sell it.
Well, you shouldn't.
Else.
we know that you can now, but you shouldn't. Shall we go into the 3 modes of material nature? That's the last thing that you sent from chapter 14.
Sure. And because I was
coming up. Go on. Yeah.
Sure.
No. Go on.
I was going to, connect this discussion, or we looked at the divine and demonic energies, and these are like energy signatures, just like frequency or vibration, just like in the military academy.
Or in Tesla's quote, or in the Matrix.
Yeah, he was very much into that. But in the military application, for instance, in naval warfare, you depend very much on analyzing vibrations in the water, frequency. So you might have a library of what propellers a certain ship or whatever submarine.
I'm gonna next time I record with you, we're gonna be playing a new video game that came out. It's called Sea Power, and it basically like there's sonar operators, and I know exactly what you're talking about, classifying ships by their propeller signatures and so on and so forth, and how propellers are like specially designed to mask the signature and so on and so forth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can even identify, specific ships, and I guess you can do it in other ways too. But that's just the principle. So
Apparently, you can
this
do it with people. Apparently, you can do it with people too in their walks.
exactly,
Like everybody has a specific rhythm of
exactly,
walking, and you can trace that as well. Even if you're like,
exactly.
Guy Fawkes.
So where I wanted to come to was that the demonic people or the demonic energy has a signature, and you know, you can see that signature in different places in the world. So you understand, okay, what's going on here. Okay, some satanic activity is going on because it's completely devoid of empathy or whatever. So in the Bhagavad Gita's terms, there are three archetypal energies that are conditioning us, or actually it goes through the whole creation. And these three energies or modes, they are goodness and passion and ignorance. And in this chapter, in Three Modes of Material Nature, it is explained what is goodness, what is passion, and what is ignorance, and what happens when you are conditioned with one of them. So the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, and because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive actions. And the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The results of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which binds the conditioned soul. So these energies, archetypal energies, are there, and depending on how a living being or a human associates with these energies, they become conditioned by it. So if you live in an environment which is mainly in the mode of goodness, like in nature or in in a peaceful place like that, it makes you resonate with that. If you live in downtown New York, you become conditioned by the energy in this place, and you start to vibrate like this. And so I just thought that we would
Cover that little detail, and motivate me to move out of the city and go build a house somewhere in the mountains.
Yeah, if one have the opportunity, then that is very good.
Advisable.
Because
Yeah.
from the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. And from the mode of ignorance, develop foolishness, madness, and illusion. So the present day society is dominated by the mode of ignorance and some passion. Yeah.
All right. We've officially come up on the 1 hour mark, where I like to usually cut things off because then after that it gets a little annoying for processing. But I've got two little memes here or three maybe, that you sent along a long time ago. There is no virus, and the picture is unrelated. Everybody who wants to take a ruler up to that, you can put a ruler or a level and check the horizon, that being horizontal. Also, no virus number 2. This is from Philip Druzhinin. I'll leave a link to a talk I did with him. I'll be recording with him soon. The new COVID-2 SARS-15, whatever it's called, just works out to 33 and 36 in these weird number calculators. And let's not forget to follow the White Rabbit. Some classics for Maya. Everybody who stuck around to the end, thank you. Like, share, subscribe. You know what to do. Maya, thank you again. See you in chat.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
This was excellent. We'll have to do this regularly now.
Okay.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank
you. We'll see you soon. Anything else you want to say? A pearl of wisdom for the end for everyone?
No, I mean, become your own authority. Don't listen to anyone. Don't listen to me.
Did you hear that? Don't listen to him. Give me a like, share, subscribe down there, right somewhere here. All right. See you guys later. Peace.
See you.